Everyone is grinding. If hard work were the only variable, every construction worker would be a billionaire and every gym rat would be an Olympian. Welcome to the Due to Expire podcast, where we will be talking about what it takes to get the edge before the whistle blows and the clock reads all zeros. I'm grateful that you have chosen to listen today. I'm your host, Corey Kennard. Now, let's grow. As usual, before we get started, I want to let you know that this episode is presented by the No Negative Energy Life brand, a life coaching resource and media edutainment outlet that seeks to help human beings to consciously expose and diminish the impact of negative thoughts and ultimately replace them with positive ones that will increase one's ability to thrive. Check us out at nonegative.energy. That's no negative, all one phrase, .energy. Hard work, as we know it, is the entry fee for any competition, but it's not the edge. At the elite level, everyone is working hard, my friends. But the edge is found in precision and intentionality. While the amateur focuses on the volume of work, the pro focuses on the leverage of the work. There is something known as the difference of the 1%. Have you ever watched a track meet, especially in the Olympics, maybe the 100-meter sprint? The gap between the gold medalist and the person who didn't even make the podium is often measured in hundredths of a second. That tiny fraction is the edge. You know, when we think about it, we've all seen that person at the gym who spends 40 minutes on their phone and 5 minutes on the treadmill. And then they wonder why they don't look like an Avenger. You see, that's not the plateau. That's a scenic tour of Instagram. You aren't working out when you're doing this. You're just paying a monthly fee to use the Wi-Fi in a building that smells like sweat. So first, let's look at the psychology of the split second. Speed is physical, but anticipation is mental. Elite athletes don't necessarily move faster than their opponents, but they start sooner because they recognize patterns. This can be described in what is known as the OODA loop. OODA. OODA. I know it sounds strange, but this means to observe, orient, decide, and act. This was developed by military strategist John Boyd, and this is used by elite performers to cycle through information faster than their competition. If you can out-cycle your opponent's decision-making process, if you can out-OODA them, guess what? You win. What are the key stages of the OODA loop, you may ask? Well, here they are. First of all, we have to observe. This is gathering real-time data from the environment through sensors, through our intelligence, or through our senses. And so we must look at everything that is happening and everything around us. And then after that, we must orient ourselves. This is contextualizing observations based on experience, based upon your culture, based upon your training. And this is often considered the most critical stage. Because after this, you have to then decide. Selecting a course of action is the decision that you need to make based upon your orientation. And then after that, You know what you need to do, right? You need to act. This is implementing the decision and observing the results, and then feeding back into the next loop of observing, orienting, deciding, and then acting again. And it goes on and on. You see, this is continuous feedback for yourself. It is not linear. It's not one time. It is ongoing. It is interactive, and it is a dynamic cycle. The goal is to act faster than your opponent, forcing them to react to your previous actions, which causes confusion and makes them fall behind as you continue to move forward. And then Boyd stressed this as it relates to the OODA loop. He said that orientation shapes how we observe, decide, and act, encompassing experiences, culture, and new information. So your actions are largely based upon what you've been fed. You're observing what you've been fed, what you've been taught, what you know about your business, about the sport, whatever it may be, and then taking that information and using it to your advantage. Now, there's another strategy as well, besides the OODA loop, that comes from the work of Dr. Joan Vickers, and it is called the quiet eye research. Dr. Vickers found that elite athletes, from golfers to snipers, exhibit a quiet eye, which is a long, steady gaze on a specific target before moving. Novices, or people who struggle, have what is known from this research to be scattered eyes instead of that quiet eye. Now, in your goals, are you reacting to every notification? This causes scattered eyes. Or are you fixated on the lead indicator that actually moves the needle? This is the quiet eye. Wayne Gretzky said it so eloquently when he said, "I don't skate to where the puck is. I skate to where it is going to be." That sounds like a combination of OODA and the quiet eye. Next, I want to just share with you another key fact or another key component in getting the edge or gaining the edge. And that is recovery. Recovery is a competitive weapon. We have been conditioned to believe that rest is for the weak. In reality, growth happens during the recovery phase, not the stress phase. An athlete who doesn't recover cannot adapt to their training. A helpful tool is the science of HRV, or heart rate variability. This measures the variation in time between each heartbeat. A high HRV indicates a resilient nervous system ready to perform. A low HRV indicates that you are overtrained and under-recovered. You see, athletes who have the edge use meditation, they use naps, and they use off time to lower cortisol. If you're always on, if you're always going, if you're always active, your on only turns out to be mediocre. You know, it was said in a very humorous way, sleep is the only time you can technically work toward your goals while drooling on a pillow. It's the ultimate productivity hack for the lazy and the ambitious alike. If you're getting 4 hours of sleep and bragging about it, you're not a hustler. You're just an hallucinating person who is bad at math. You see, rest is not a luxury. It's a necessity for those who want to reach the top. And then there's the piece of us becoming the architect of our own environment. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. This is the aggregation of marginal gains. Sir David Brailsford took a cycling team that hadn't won anything in 100 years and obsessed over 1% improvements. The most aerodynamic tires, he looked at that. He looked at the best massage gels and even specific pillows that ensured the best sleep on the road. 5 years later, his cycling team dominated the Tour de France. Ultimately, to drive this point home, a key to gaining the edge is to cultivate the right environment. If you want to eat better, you don't use willpower in a kitchen full of junk food. You redesign the kitchen. If you want the edge in your career, you curate your locker room. The people and tools you surround yourself with daily will determine how successful you're going to be and how much edge you're going to gain. You see, willpower is like a phone battery. It's full in the morning and dead by 9 p.m. Don't try to win a championship on 2% battery. Design your life so that you don't have to be a hero just to get your work done. Will Durant said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but it's a habit. And then there's the power of resonance. I call this vibrational visualization. Before an athlete ever touches the ball or steps onto the track, they have already won the game in their mind. This isn't just positive thinking. It is vibrational visualization. It is the practice of aligning your internal state or your mental frequency with the physical reality you want to create. Research from the University of Chicago tracked basketball players practicing free throws. One group practiced physically, while another group only visualized making the shots. The visualization group improved nearly as much as the physical group. How did this happen? Because the brain doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. When you visualize, you are literally tuning your nervous system to the frequency of success. Every goal that you have has a vibration. Confidence feels different than desperation. Focus feels different than chaos. If you are trying to build a high-level career, but you are vibrating at the frequency of not enough or lack, you are essentially playing out of tune. To gain the edge, you must intentionally shift your energy to match the outcome you desire. You see, you can't tune into a radio station at the 105.1 frequency and expect to hear what's playing on 98.7. If your internal frequency is static and complaints, don't be surprised when your life sounds like a dial-up modem from 1995. You have to tune yourself to the station of champions before you can hear the anthem. Daryl Anka said this: which is often attributed to Einstein. He said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. And then there's what is known as the next play. Now, this is crucial. This is the final separator, I believe, in sports. And it is the final separator in life because it's the recovery rate from failure. Many elite coaches teach the next play philosophy. You are allowed to be frustrated, they may say, for exactly the time it takes to get to the next position on the court or the next position in life. In sports, it's usually about 4 seconds. After that, the mistake is dead. It's done. It's over. If you carry the last missed shot into the current play, you've just missed 2 shots because you're not going to be focused. You see, the edge is not a gift. It is a choice. It is the choice to anticipate the future, to weaponize your rest, to curate your environment, and to tune your intentional vibration to the frequency of your highest self. Don't just chase a goal. Become the person who is a vibrational match for it. If you're going to beat yourself up over a mistake, do this for me. At least charge yourself a consulting fee. Otherwise, you're just being a bully for free. And let's be honest, your inner critic is a terrible coach. Fire him or her and hire a winner. So now, as I prepare to close this podcast, I want to bring up what is known as the championship frequency. You see, we spent this podcast deconstructing the edge, but here's the final truth. The edge isn't something you find. It's something you tune into. The greats don't win because they are faster or because they are stronger or because they're luckier. They win because they have mastered the invisible margins. They've traded reaction for anticipation. They've realized that recovery isn't a break from the work, it is the work. They've audited their environment until success became the path of least resistance. But more than anything, they have mastered their own resonance. So I ask you right now, are you vibrating at a certain frequency? Is it the frequency of the person you used to be? The one stuck in the hustle and the grind of mediocrity? Or is it the frequency of the champion that you want to become? Remember the 4-second rule, the next play. If you spent your life up until this moment playing small, your 4 seconds are up. Flush it. Get rid of it. The next play is starting right now. Go out there and audit your 1%. Tune your frequency to the win and stop skating to where the puck is and start skating to where the puck is going to be. This is your edge, my friends. Now go and execute the next play. I want to thank you for listening today. I'm your host, Corey Kennard.